He's our guest now, former governor of Virginia, Jim Gilmore. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, listen, thank you very much. I knew Tom Jefferson and Pat Henry very well.
So, listen, Governor Gilmore, so many people are trying to look at this election as some sort of Rorschach test, and that it's in some way either a repudiation of the Tea Party, or it means that Virginia has become, a solidly blue state, that this is a blueprint for Democratic victories on forward. Does it really mean that much, or does it really just boil down to the fact that Terry McAuliffe knows one thing, and that's he knows how to raise a whole lot of money?
This morning, as you looked at these results, it means that Terry McAuliffe knows how to raise a whole lot of money. It seems to me that when you outspend somebody by $15 million and you have a third party in the race financed by an Obama supporter, that the results aren't quite as stark as they may first appear.
You're talking about the Libertarian Sarvis. It was revealed yesterday that there was a lot of money going to him from Democratic supporters.
Yes, I do mean that, and that may very well be a dirty pool. There probably ought to be an investigation, but I'm not sure there's going to be now. But I don't want to look. The first thing I want to do is I want to congratulate Governor-elect McAuliffe. I want to be clear about that. I have been a governor-elect. I have known those heady days myself. It is an exciting moment to be governor of the state of Virginia. Is a great thing. It is a very powerful governorship. It has a wonderful bully pulpit, and you can do a lot of good out of the governorship. So I congratulate Terry McAuliffe. But what I'm addressing is what you asked me, which is the politics. And I got to tell you that this morning I'm a little surprised. I'm actually very surprised. Nothing much surprises me anymore, but this kind of does. All the polling for months and months and months, which, by the way, is very influential on the process, has been indicating a McAuliffe easy win. And he did not get an easy win.
No, he didn't.
He does. He's a governor going in having not achieved 50% of the voting electorate, much less of the population. And of course, now Northam beat Jackson, but the themes there were quite different. And then, of course, we have the Attorney General race. We don't.
Yeah, we don't have an answer there. In fact, we might even have a recount there, considering it's still within. I think it's within 700 votes right now. The Attorney General race.
Yeah, I think that it's a very stunning thing. Frankly, I don't think that the results here are as clear as people might think they are.
All right. Let me ask you this question. You've also been the chairman of the Republican Party.
Yes,
our friend Mark Levin, who has been watching this thing very closely, is apoplectic about the fact that he felt that the GOP, the National Party, did not support Ken Cuccinelli to the level he should have been supported. What do you say to that when you hear those charges?
Well, I think you have to count the money, but it's pretty obvious that the party felt like they wanted to be up there with Governor Christie instead of down here with Ken Cuccinelli. I remember the night that I was elected governor of Virginia, the national chairman was down here with me. I think that the real question here is, look, the deeper question here is, do these results give any portent about what Virginia is going to do in the future? I mean, it's pretty clear that Governor McAuliffe is so close to the Clintons, and that we're back to that Clinton thing again, and that Hillary Clinton wants to run for president, and that the goal here is to put Virginia in a position to support Hillary Clinton. I'm not sure they did that. I'm not sure that's happened in this race. I am frankly surprised at the Republican strength in this election. After all of a sudden hammering of all the polling after all the weeks, I am surprised. But what I think the deeper point is, I'm not sure that any of this shakes up either one of the parties. I'm not sure it shakes up either one of the parties in Virginia, and I'm not sure that it causes any shake-up in the parties nationally.
Our guest is...
This may be a status quo election, actually.
Former governor of Virginia, Jim Gilmore, is our guest. Former Republican governor, we should distinguish. And by the way, we will have a former Democratic governor coming up in just a few moments. Doug Wilder will be joining us.
And a pal of mine.
And a pal of yours as well, absolutely. And talk to me a little bit about you talked about, how important the role of governor in Virginia is. It is a one-term seat, of course. In the next 4 years, Terry McAuliffe, not getting 50% of the vote in the Commonwealth of Virginia, will have to face a Republican House of Delegates. We've had a lot of calls all morning long of Virginians saying, oh my gosh, we're going to be the next Maryland. This whole state is going to change now, and there goes my gun rights, and here go my taxes. What can Terry McAuliffe do in what is arguably a relatively weak position right now?
It is true. I have looked at the results this morning, particularly out of Northern Virginia, on all the House of Delegates races, and there were no Republicans thrown out of office anywhere in Virginia, which means that the legislature, the Republican lower house, is going to be firmly in Republican hands. Therefore, Governor McAuliffe probably can't make a dramatic change in direction of the state. I think that's going to be hard for him to do. Let me just be clear. If he chooses to make a dramatic change in the state, dramatically increase taxes the way that Governor Warner did, for example, and the way that Governor Kane attempted to, they're going to have to make the case. And what's really going to happen here is that Governor McAuliffe is going to look at what he can do and then to have a long conversation with the House of Delegates to see what he can achieve, and that's what he'll propose. And I don't think that it will be, very radically different. If he does want to make a radical different change in the direction of the state, he's going to have to go into the press and the bully pulpit and take that case to the people. And as we've just seen from these election results, I don't think that he's got such an overwhelming support. Now, I might say, by the way, that I happen to have a little different view than some of my friends. I know Terry McAuliffe. He was chairman of the DNC when I was chairman of the RNC.
Right.
And I liked the guy. I thought he had a nice personality. He's a very pleasant man, and I think his approach will be very nice. But we're in the day here of polarized politics, and the people who hold these public offices in Virginia and nationally are going to be thinking carefully about policy. So, my message to you guys is that I think the Republicans can still win in Virginia. Conservative Republicans can win in Virginia, but number one, I believe we have to reach into every community. I remember when I was running for governor, I had some advice to just write off Northern Virginia and not run in it at all. And I rejected that advice. I ran hard in Northern Virginia. I took the car tax issue into Northern Virginia, and I won Northern Virginia. And secondly, I think you have to go back into kitchen table issues for people. Talk about what's their concerns, what really they're addressing, whether it's in the African-American community, among women in the state, or people in Northern Virginia. You have to find out what's concerning people. Instead of talking at people all the time, you got to listen to people and find out what their concerns are, then offer sound conservative solutions.
It also helps to raise a whole lot of money, too.
It also helps to raise a whole lot of money.
Former Governor Jim Gilmore, so good to have you. Listen to that laugh. What a good guy.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us this morning on a very busy day.